One of the most important things that I share with people especially when I used to practice law, was the importance of keeping people informed about your change of circumstances. Now, the tricky part about this is that sometimes people don't understand what does that actually mean. Because maybe they're worried that by doing so, they're telling people about every little nuance or every little thing. I often tell people that, listen, when in doubt, it does not hurt to let anybody know about your situations changing. Why is that important? Because depending on your circumstances, your change in circumstances may dictate certain things having to happen. Why is that important? Well, let me give you a great example. Let's assume, for instance, like I had a case that I was representing someone in an employment discrimination case where the person was discriminated against in a job. They were living in Florida at the time when it happened. And then what ended up happening was when we filed the lawsuit, they moved. Well, why is that important? Does that mean that their case gets dropped? No, because everything that happened originated when they were still here in Florida. However, what it meant was the circumstances by which all the other things after the lawsuit started had to take in consideration the fact that the person was no longer in Florida. That meant any depositions that they had to do had to be done either over the phone or via video or remotely. It had to be taking consideration that maybe they wanted to come and attend and witness some of the other depositions and so forth. That meant making accommodations for them to come down. If there was any mediations that had to be done, that had to be done. Typically you want them in person, so you wanted to schedule a time so that this way they were in town. So this way they'd be there with me, with the mediator and the other side, so we can work this out in person. All of those things are important. And the reason why I share that is because sometimes what happens is that we overlook the importance of those little nuances in terms of appreciating the reality that that information is crucial towards making sure that I was up to speed with where they were at all times. Now that's just one example. But the simple fact of the matter is that anytime there's a change in your circumstances, it doesn't have to necessarily be you moved. It could be that you moved right next door, change of address. It could be a situation where maybe you have a new job and you decide you want to drop your lawsuit for discrimination. It could be that you found out from a friend of yours who told you that there's somebody else who's going through something similar and they want to help you in your situation. All of those little nuances of changes are important because guess what? That gives the person who's representing you more information about circumstances that they can either investigate or determine whether or not it can be useful for your case. Change can be a good thing, but keeping people who are representing you informed of your change is even better because what it does is that it keeps them in tune with all the things that needs to be done. And if there's something more that needs to be done, they can do that as well. So change is a good thing. Keeping people informed of that change is even better.